says, what constitutes a Muslim or a non-Muslim country? Only a name like Islamic Jamhuriyah or Sultanate Islami, or actual Islamic values of experiencing religious rights freely of whatever you believe in. The issue of distributing or segregating countries to be countries of Islam and countries of non-Muslims, Darul Islam and Dar al-Kufr, as they call it. And also there is Darul Harb, which is the countries that waging war against us. And there is the countries of Al-Ahd, the countries that we have a sort of treaty between us. These things were not clearly mentioned in the Quran and the Sunnah. And it came far after the time of the Prophet ﷺ and the companions, may Allah be pleased with them all. Maybe there's one or two a slight mentioning of it when the Prophet, for example, or the companions mentioned Medina to be Dar al-Hijrah and the Dar of al-Muhajirin, the migrants, which indicates that Mecca was at the time Dar al-Kufr. Later on, jurors and scholars started disputing upon the issue of what constitutes and what makes a country an Islamic country, or it makes it a kaffir country. So some looked at the ruling party and the government and the imam, and they said that if the imam was Muslim and he was implementing Islamic laws, in this case, even if the majority of the inhabitants of that country were non-Muslims, the country is labeled as Islamic country. Others said, no, this is not the fact. The fact that governs the issue is that the majority of the Muslims there, or the majority of inhabitants are Muslims, and that they are able to practice and express their religion. So, and each party gave an evidence on that topic. For example, when the Prophet ﷺ used to raid a village or a town or a city, he would do this at night time and refrains until he hears the adhan. If he doesn't hear the adhan of Fajr, he goes ahead. And also the instruction of not raiding a village or a city if there's a masjid or if the adhan is being called. So this is one of the evidences for those who support the second opinion, which says that as long as the majority of the inhabitants or the citizens are Muslims and they're practicing their religion and they are showing the rituals, which is the most important ritual of all is Salat. And it's a huge dispute among scholars on how to differentiate. Some scholars said that there is a middle ground, like Ibn Taymiyyah, for example, when he was asked about the city of Mardin. And he said that this is in between, because the inhabitants there are Muslims, but it is ruled by kaffir. So he says the Muslim has to be treated as a Muslim. His blood, his wealth, his life, his religion is protected. We cannot attack him. But at the same time, those who go against the Sharia, those who implement and enforce laws other than the law of Allah Azza wa Jal, must be fought and must be treated as such. So he made it into somewhere in between due to the complexity of the issue. Nevertheless, you should not be worried about asking such a question, because this is way above our pay grade. This is an issue of political fiqh, and it's not something for the individuals to know about. And the problem with asking such question is that those usually who ask such a question would like to act upon the answer. So if we say that, okay, if the Sharia law is not being implemented, even if the majority were Muslims, then it's a kafir country. Like the Jama'ah of Khawarij, of Shukri Mustafa, for example, in Egypt, about 30 years, 40 years ago, they were known as At-Takfir wal-Hijrah. And they said that Egypt is a kaffir country because it's not ruled by Islam. Hence, all those living there are kaffir, and then we can kill them, we can take their money. And they used to rob jeweler shops, and they used to do heinous acts because of their misunderstanding because of their deviancy. This is something that only the top rulers of the Muslim countries to deal with. This is an issue that they only can deal with. For example, if we see someone committing fornication, should we flog him if he's unmarried or stone him if he is married? No, this is not for us. If someone steals, should we amputate his hand? It's not for us, it's for the ruler. Likewise, if he drinks intoxicants, should we flog him and punish him? No. This is not for us. It is for the ruler, and likewise, such a question, and Allah Azza wa Jalla knows best.